Honor, respect, and gratitude. Integrity, discipline, and action. We are happy to be with you today.
Yeah.
So we've got announcements.
Yeah. However, we're talking about tenets today, everybody. We're talking about the way we live, the lifestyle. And this live stream is designed to help give clarity, help understand who we are, who are you connecting with, who are you tuning in with, you know. It helps understand resonance and the why and the direction of the trajectory of the relationship. So we're going to dive into some tenets. We're going to be screen sharing some of this, but we'll continue ongoing with discussing these types of things and the times to come. But we got a lot in store, and we're also looking for some level of participation, comment. Let us know what your thoughts are regarding this as well. Some of you all may be already familiar with these tenets, but we're sharing this with a broader audience as well. So before we dive into this, a couple of announcements. We are starting back with light body movement this upcoming Sunday. We're going to be moving into the crown chakra, and I like to call this the rooftop. And so this month will conclude this phase of light body movement. It has been a heck of a year, or 8 months, well, 7 to 8 months, in terms of engaging with the light body, bringing this into the forefront, really understanding the truth of our multidimensional self, the practicality of the way in which these chakras show up in our reality, how to strengthen them, all within oneself, free of any sound bowls or crystals. Shout out to the crystals. We're cool with the crystals, but as per one of the tenets of the Sun, we're teaching people to be sovereign, how to do for self, and that's embedded within the light body movement. How to activate your energy centers because they are yours, right? You got to start your engine. So we're going to start with our next phase. Speaking of start your engine, the next phase of light body movement next month. So we'll be kicking it off July, moving back into the root chakra. So this is going to be a prime opportunity for anybody who's been watching, like, ooh, I want to join light body, but
Perfect opportunity.
they're already in the middle. They're already in the heart. So I want to, and the funny thing is that anyone can start at any point that they like to. However, here's your chance. Here's your chance to start off fresh. So we're gonna send some more announcements, and also if you are looking to stay updated to what we're doing, click the subscribe button. We're often sharing these notifications in our live streams, the live streams throughout the week with our other practitioners. You can, by signing up to the e-blast on our website, you'll be able to stay up to date. We just sent the e-blast out this morning, actually, which we have 2 upcoming classes for the month. We're going to be diving back into DNA activation, reactivating the 12 strands, the dormant etheric DNA, and we're going to be moving into quantum light device clearing.
Yay.
Clearing the devices that we interface with regularly that has energetic accumulation and really bringing them back to zero. So these classes are interesting in general. DNA activation is a prerequisite for quantum light property clearing, but quantum light device clearing is for those who have already taken property clearing, and this is an expansion. So you've been taught how to clear the physical spaces. Now we're going into the nitty gritty, the devices, the laptops, the cell phones, where we are often on social media, all time. You're almost a slave to the algorithm, where whatever pops up, you just got to deal with it. And sometimes what pops up is crazy. I know, because because I know. You're like, why is that in my feed? And so these type of things, they accumulate. The conversations we have, about that grouchy family member who, you're like, I don't want to listen to this. And that's imprinting into your phone. The conferences, the business calls, work from home, all these things. Customer service, calling the insurance company. I had to run in with the insurance company the other day. Y'all are so evil. And again, to not be a victim to the accumulation, but to live in the solutions to address it. So again, this class, it's a 2-day class. So unlike our typical 8-day course for quantum light property clearing, this is auxiliary. So literally 2 days out of the week, held on Thursdays of this month, the 11th, the 25th, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And this is on the website as well. So on the homepage, you'll find it. Lotso, you got any thoughts on device clearing? I know
yes, I have a lot.
you know,
I have a lot on device clearing. Every interaction you have with those you know, those you don't know, everything that comes through your feed, everything that touches you, including the insurance calls and mortgage and rent and this thing and that thing, whatever those look like, whatever disputes, it's in the energy is in the phone. So this is an intimate relationship. You have intimacy with your devices that goes beyond anything that the generations before had. That you don't have that with a television. You know, the intimacy you have. Most of you take your phones into the bathroom with you. You know, you're like very intimate with
It
it.
used to be magazines.
It used to be magazines.
Now,
Yeah.
you still in there? Time flies, doesn't it?
So there's so much that needs to be considered. There is the exterior cleaning of the phone that many people don't do that has to be, we have to bring forth.
Yeah.
That you need to sanitize the phone because it goes everywhere and it's into everything and it's full of all of those bacteria and microbes. So you might need a little ionic silver to clean your phone with. And then the intimacy of every conversation, positive or otherwise, every interaction. A lot of you are sleeping with your phone in your bed. Your animals are
Frying that
touching it.
brain up. Waking up foggy.
Yes, all of these kinds of things. This device clearing is very important, and it may be able to give you more life on the phone instead of you having, when they slow down, when they built the phones for obsolescence, you may be able to slow that down by regular cleanings and clearings and taking care of it. Just the act of being concerned about it is helpful for the device's longevity because the devices can last, but they're planned to not last. Then you can offset some of that, and you could remove any discordant energy that came through anybody who's talking to you by text, or people trying to reach you who are bill collectors, or people trying to reach you to sell you things. All of that can be offset because all of that is predatory, all of that is parasitic, and it's all in the phone that you're sleeping with. So,
Yeah, it's fascinating. I
Yeah.
was in a conversation with Diane about this, and she was sharing how, wow, it's so much. She's like, oh, there's the apps, and then there's the maker of the apps. There's the idea of the AI, and like, it's all these different nodes of consciousness, and like they're their own world, so to say.
Yes.
And there's that, and then of course the layers with the messages and the contacts and the threads of conversation. I mean, it goes on and on, but the reality is that this is not, we don't have to be a slave to it. We don't have to be a victim to it. There are solutions. And what's also fascinating with clearing the inner, like electronics and devices, I have seen so much change and shift with clearing up vehicles as well, where like you can course correct something.
You can
It's so
correct.
interesting how energy really has a prof or deeply impact on the field of electronics to have like real-time responses and results.
That's why they're using it
Yeah.
against
It's,
us.
that's a whole nother topic, the interface, like the Internet of Things and how it's interfacing with our technology, because somebody knows something. Somebody knows something about us.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go too far off, of course.
Well, I,
with
I
it.
did want to comment that your comments about what Diane was saying and how in-depth that is about the apps and the makers of the apps and all that, that is expansion of consciousness. If you've never had that thought, come to the class, expand your consciousness, become bigger, be more aware. We are only aware of about 4% of what's in our environment. That, what was just said, is an expansion. Like, there's more to think about, there's more to be taken care of, there's more to consider, there's more for me to move off of me. So there's benefit in this level of expansion on so many multidimensional levels.
Yeah. And so we'll keep it moving. But again, DNA activation is going to be coming up on the 16th, 23rd, and 30th. So we know many of you are excited for this, especially the auditors, who are, of course, welcome back for day one, where we have the full activation of the reconnection of the DNA templates, but then also healing can take place for those who have already had DNA activation, our alumni, so to say. And this is a prerequisite for the quantum light property clearing class, but also the uniqueness about this course, it's day one of clearing and activation. So everyone gets a soul clearing live, and the activation is live as well. And then a brief follow-up at the tail end of day one on how to sustain our vibrational pitch. And the thing is this, it's one thing to connect
I think I'm
DNA.
going to sneeze.
He's like,
I'm not sure yet.
it's like,
Just so you know.
it's like that, isn't it? It's like,
I think I might sneeze.
it's like, just playing. It's like, come on, hurry up, I got things to do. All right, so, but as I was saying, the thing about DNA activation is it's more than just replication, it's more than just activating the DNA. We must replicate it. And this is where we go into the nitty gritty of understanding what the multiplication of the strands look like and how they correlate with the energy centers, how they correlate with the levels of consciousness or dimensionality, and how to perceive that, how to see what's happening in me in terms of the changes and the activation of my DNA, and how that's showing up in my reality, how am I responding to the field, to be able to see and ground in the reality that something's happening. You know, but it's often palpable day one. People,
Yes.
So first off, people be knocking out from the activation because you're put into a light trance, but there are so many profound changes in terms of the response from the field that people have as it relates to how they're perceived, really more light.
Yes.
The biophotons are activating, things are turned on, and children, animals, nature itself, and others will be staring at you like there's something more going on there. But again, 3-day class, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. You can find this on the homepage of the site. It's also in the description, so if you're interested, just open up the description below and the link will take you there. So Lalita, you brought this methodology forward. This is how I met you. But any initial thoughts on this class before we move forward?
It is so relevant to keep your connection with the intergalactic genetic engineers and the Elohim, who are the beings who come in to facilitate these activations, because they are your allies. They are the authority in the area of DNA, and they have been working with us for 20 years. And after much pursuit and trial and error, those of you who've had the DNA activation, this is an excellent opportunity to top off, and to be in a group setting where you get the energy of other souls who want the same thing you want, who are all in the same place, with a facilitator who knows what they're doing, to allow you to accept what you're willing to accept, to bring you to the field that you're willing to accept. So for those of you who are auditing, you are encouraged to come in and either have in your mind, may whatever needs to be healed and corrected, or, you know what, that left knee of mine, could you look at that, engineers and Elohim while you're in there, and whatever connecting thought or emotion it is to that knee, would you help me with that as well? So DNA never gets old, and you can never get enough. It's always a boost for you in the world that we live in.
Yeah, it's real in the field. I just had a thought about how sometimes, all right, so for those who are going to be participating, come with one thing and let them work. Let them do what they do. Just put in your requests and then just allow, right? Instead of like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? Just observe the process. They know what they're doing. But we are honored to be working with the Galactic Genetic Engineers, also known as the Elohim, and it's a sacred experience. But again, most importantly, how do you integrate this? So day 2 and 3, we're going to be focusing on integration, embodiment, right? And we're looking to have a good time. So also, just a couple of other side announcements. If you all want to catch some of our live streams throughout the week, again, just make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification, because we have Diane of the Sun with Healing Studio One. She just did a live stream meditation on the crown chakra yesterday, so you can catch her every midday at noon, every Wednesday at 12 noon. And then we also have Lauren of the Sun, who brings forth the flower consciousness, flowers and frequencies. And there's always a different consciousness from the flower kingdom. She brought forth the rose consciousness and a meditation, an activation, a healing, because that's the reality. Flowers, we can get healing from nature through direct interfacing. This is like moving into 5D, like not just being enamored, but let me interface. Let me open myself intuitively to what they have. Oh, what'd you say? You know, right? And by the way, this is another beautiful bouquet from Diane. She's always coming through. We love you, Diane. Appreciate you. And I know you all see me touching on the flowers. But the point is that we are encouraging you all to interface with the consciousness of life, all these different life forms to gain what there is to be gained. And this is the relationship that we have with them. So again, every Monday, 6 p.m., you can find Lauren of the Sun with the flower meditations and healings. And then also this upcoming Friday, Diane will have Evolutionary Book Club. She's going to bring forth the book Anastasia, which is recommended reading from Of the Sun. We also have her consecutively on Fridays, the second and third Fridays, she is bringing forth the Divination, working with the Call for the Truth deck. Many of you are familiar with that, accompanying Lao Tzu's book. And third week, I guest host with her, so we're also having a good time there. Fourth Friday, we are chiming in with the Quantum Light Property Clearing Gang, Quantum Chronicles, myself, Diane, Lauren of the Sun, Tiffany of the Sun, all seasoned veteran clearers who are going over details of stories and the power, okay, expose on the power of quantum light property clearing, whether it's in our own lives, the lives of clients alike. And so those are some of the general announcements that we have, but you know, what's that guy, the ShamWow guy, but wait, there's more. There's more. So some of you may be interested in taking other classes with us throughout the year. So we're gonna have our website updated with classes from entry level to advanced, and even pop-up classes that are complimentary for people who have taken previous classes who kind of need a touch and go. We're going to have this throughout the website for the year, so I'd like to do just a quick little rundown for you all just to kind of keep you up to date of what's in store. So we went over this month. June, we got DNA activation, quantum light device clearing. In July, Lao Tzu's bringing back the luminous life method. So this is a continuation on the lifestyle of living and embodying light. And we just finished with one of them last month. It was a great time. We're also doing a quantum light property clearing pop-up. This is a follow-up for you clearers out there. So we'll be sending an e-blast, but also emailing you all directly and allowing the opportunity for questions. You know, bring forth your experiences. I know we have had several level 1 classes, and there's a lot that you have likely experienced. And so, you know, it'll be a nice mixture. There'll be veterans, beginner clearers. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. And then that's actually, it's funny, that same month in July, we're going to have quantum light vehicle clearing. So we're going to do another auxiliary course for clearing your vehicles. And then we'll also have energetic protection and defense class. This is an introductory class for anyone who just wants to slide into a class with Love of Sun and learn how to protect themselves. In August, Lao Tzu is bringing back the calibration class, which is foundational to all of our advanced classes. And this is, again, tapping into the tenets. If you want to learn to be sovereign, which is how to get information for yourself. Body, is it in my best interest to eat this food, to go to this family reunion? To work this gig, go to the movies with them, date this person, travel to this country, move to this place, do this business deal. You can ask these questions with your body and or your guidance. And so we teach you how to gain clear yes and no information. And so this is something that's needed because I know, you see what I see. The times that we're in, it's wow. What we're seeing online is not even the truth. In the time of AI, artificial generated video and images, we don't know what's real from what's fake unless you calibrate. That actually rhymed. Yeah, that was cool. You know, you're flowing. So that's what the time, and you know, it's funny because you've mentioned this years ago, like people will need this, people will know how, people will require ascertaining truth for themselves in a world where truth is hard to find. You got any thoughts on that before we continue?
The idea of having the sovereignty to not need to get a thing, to not need to get your Hygiene, to not need to get a pendulum, to not need to go do the thing that isn't 100% accurate anyway. Where I see people online, they're dowsing and all of these kinds of things. All of that is a level of truth, but there are deeper, more, greater levels that you can achieve in sovereignty without being dependent upon having a rod or a jig or throwing the dice or whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
because you might not be able to grab it. It might
Yes.
not be available. But you know what you do have? Your body, the best technology out there.
So if you can learn to bring yourself into balance without the emotional influence, which by the way influences the rods and all the other things.
All of that. That's
Yeah.
right.
So what we will teach you is a way to quiet yourself so that you can do this. And we have tutoring. We will have opportunities. We have several videos of the class as well. So everyone will have whatever time they need to achieve their results. They can get it in class, they can get it with tutoring, they can get a class and listen to it before the class and then join the class, or
Yeah.
so this is really important, especially in every sense, but as relates to food, as relates to whether you should go to a Walmart, whether you should step into a certain place, should you be in traffic at this time. These are things that are becoming more pronounced. It's summertime. People are going to things and they're meeting relatives and friends that they don't really know with clarity.
Yeah, why are we doing the thing we're doing? Why are we making this choice? Is this
Yeah.
even our choice? Are we being influenced outside of ourselves, or is this divinely inspired and what's right
Exactly.
and correct for me to have an awesome experience?
Right. And
Satisfaction.
the language like that, is this right and correct? Is this the best thing for me? And being free to discern that, oh no, this is not the best thing for me, but I could do it, but do I want to? Do I want to do the thing that's not the best? What if I didn't go do that, then would something else be presented that is in my best and highest interest?
I think so.
So those are questions we often don't ask, but we can live in the answers.
Yeah, I was just having a fleeting thought about how often we are influenced by guilt from turning down things, especially like when we're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
People wanting things of us and feeling obligated to do things. But when you have the trust in your biology, or if you're a property clearer and you're connected to your higher guidance where you can speak to them through your body, and you ask, is it in my best and highest interest? And you know without a doubt that this is the truth for me, this is the best path, guilt collapses. And it becomes a
Absolutely.
power move when you're like, it's not in my best and highest interest to go there.
So it's like,
And just like take it or leave it. Like I know
Like-
that I know.
no, and I don't feel any way about it.
Yeah.
Like that's a no for me, and no, I don't feel sad.
And they can do what they will with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about these things periodically as we work up to some of these classes. And again, we'll make sure that these things are on the website in the coming times. But also in that month of August, we have Energy Hygiene 101 making its way back. Introductory class for living an energy hygiene lifestyle. And then we, let's see here. Excuse me. I put a typo in my notes. All right, we'll go to the next month. September, Quantum Light Property Clearing. Level 2. I know you all been waiting on it. You're like, when's the level 2? When's the level 2? Well, we're going to make it do what it do in level 2. So this is the next phase where, again, even though there's auxiliary classes, we're going to be learning not only vehicles, devices, we're going to be learning about clearing animals, we're going to be clearing environments, clearing the layers of the earth, clearing levels of the atmosphere, other energetic interferences. I mean, there's a slew of things that we're adding on that's new to, again, have sovereignty over your environment, influence the field, because property clearing is a level of spiritual maturity, soul maturity. We were just having a conversation yesterday about how when you realize that clearing your environment is necessary, it's another layer of maturity. It's like growing up within Soul Translation, Lao Tzu, she introduced this concept of soul age. And we can calibrate what's the age of your soul. And I know you've seen some people like that. You just got here, didn't you? You just got. But then you see like, oh, some of y'all old as dirt. You've been here. You're ancient. And so, and some of us are in the middle. But the point is that when you are living this lifestyle, even like let's take away the energy and just look at the physical. From the physical perspective, taking care of your body, making sure your house is in order, probably picking up trash around the neighborhood or in the yard, maybe if you're in an apartment complex or you rent a home, because you care, you see this as an extension of you. And it's the same thing energetically where we're seeing it as an extension of our greater energetic self. The field of my environment that memory and thoughts and emotions and experiences are trapped in, and then hold up, the neighborhood, the neighbors behind me, you know what, let me get that unlocked. Let me clear these environments. Let me raise up the vibrational field of what's around me. And that's really moving into like angelhood, godhood, where it's like I'm taking into more account of who and what I am. So I say that to say, level 2, we're going to be going into all of that and then some. I mean, there's like numerology with the property, working deeper with the field of frequency cards. And so, again, we're looking to dive deep. You have any thoughts on this, Lota?
I have a lot of
Yeah, I
thoughts.
mean,
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I love the idea of the explanation. When you reach a level of maturity where it is unacceptable for you to take your fast food bag with the paper that the hamburger was wrapped in and the straw in the cup and throw it onto someone's lawn, when you recognize that's an inappropriate, out of order experience because you don't want the trash in your car, so you transfer the trash to someone else's space. That is a level of immaturity that property clearers have to grow beyond before they can become initiates into this level of service. This is about being in service to all that is in service to us, which is the earth, and which is each other. So what you gain by being able to identify the frequencies of abuse or sadness or unhappiness or depression, and then having the proprietary method of being able to clear it is a level of exaltation for the soul. It's a soul level activity that only comes to those who are mature enough to appreciate it, because it's too much, it's too involved for those who want the fast food way. You just want the, master over the weekend way. This is not that, because there's much to understand, because much has been left out of our educational process. It's not that it's complicated, it's that we don't know what we need to know to begin.
I also want to add that there's a lot of deconditioning.
Yes.
Our assumptions and presumptions about what a thing is, what it looks like, and like start at zero, collapse that.
Well, and in this world where everyone feels like it's all about money, I got to have money to do anything. You got to give me money. You have to do something for me. I can't be a human being. I can't be of service because it's right to do so. Property clearing is based on the premise that we do right because it is right to do so. We don't need anything else. It's right to stay clean in our bodies and our homes. It's right to keep our environments clean. We do it because we see the maturity in us shows us it is right to keep the planet correct.
It's wild. I'm thinking about from like the 3D level of upkeep of a house, and thinking about immaturity with children, teenagers. Humanity overall operates like adolescence.
Yeah.
We just trash the place. We don't, or younger. Tantrums, terrible twos, as they say.
Yeah.
Terrible threes, I don't know, something like that. But the point is that there is a lack of care or desire to be in service, to see the benefit of being in service. And it really is just a sign of the levels of maturity. And it's not a knock to humanity, it's just more of an observation. And also I see like life is calling all of us, grow up.
Well, it is the process. It is the evolutionary universal law that you grow. So
that's your song too.
Yeah.
Grow.
So the growth is mandatory. And so it's not a slight to say you're a child. That what that means is you're potentially an adult.
Yeah.
And your potential is all of the things that you could be. So you can be the hero in the story. You can be the warrior who puts down the chaos and the disorder. You can then be the authority in your own experience. We operate as the authority within the experience that we are in because our actions prove it.
Yeah, it's interesting how that has been robbed from humanity. Place your
Yes.
authority in someone or something outside of you, and I'm telling you, property clearing puts you back in the seat of authority because when you realize, like, oh my gosh, I could influence the morphic field that's influencing us to change the trajectory, and when you see it real time, you're like, what else can I do?
So
Ooh,
that's a really good
what
example.
else can I do? Yes, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
one of those examples like when you feel like someone else will pick up the trash that you threw out your car window, that somebody else will come and do that, then you have already given them your authority to clean your world. Hopefully they will do it.
Hopefully, hopefully. I
Hopefully,
hope,
I
it's
hope
like,
you don't make so much trash that they get tired and go home. When it's the idea that if you don't know who you are, if you cannot identify yourself as the hero in this story, if you don't know that you're a warrior against disorder and chaos,
that part.
then you assign it to somebody else. Hey, will you be the one?
And,
Will you come
it's,
pick up my trash on a daily basis so I don't have to think about it because I don't have that attention span to make sure that I carry my trash to a trash receptacle, or that as we change, as the world is changing, we may have to create trash systems that don't exist because we're not very intelligent about how we have trash.
That's such an interesting point. I was thinking yesterday about how recycling is such a scam.
Yeah.
We have been pacified and given this mystique of, oh, yeah, you're doing a good thing. And the reality is that most of the plastic is not recyclable. I'm a great majority of it. We were sending plastic and garbage to China. China's like, nah, I don't want. I'm not taking this no more. You better figure it out. So we ended up sending it to other third world countries. But the point I'm making is that, to your point, we require systems that operate in the cyclical regenerative uh, aspect of nature. The
Yeah.
torus field. And one step into that is the idea of cleaning and clearing yourself. This cyclical regenerative uh, type of action to raise your vibratory field and then continuing to expand that out. It might look like gardening and growing your food and composting, etc. But in general, like I can see where the planet requires that.
Absolutely, in training of the children, it's required in early infancy to teach order, put your shoes there, fold your clothes up, be
Yeah.
part, do part of. We have not done that, so now we're in the process of, oh, look what we didn't do as a society, and now it's necessary that those who are adult enough, those who have grown up enough, who see the right in order and cleanliness and the body being preserved, because in disorder is disease and dirt is disease. So there is so many layered reasons why we should do it, and all of this comes to the maturity of, all right, I'm the one. I'll do it.
That part.
I'll clean. It's like in Japan where they clean the toilets. I'll clean the abuse off the walls. I'll clean the arguments from this house. I'll clean the negative energies that have spilled all over the floor in this building for the last 20 years, because I see the need to do it and I'm capable of doing it, and my will to do so gives me more will to get it done.
I want to add on that by saying there is gain and reward when you do that.
Yes.
There's an increase in power. There's an increase in self-realization of who and what you are, because you are not separate from the field. You raise the field up, the field raises you up, which this goes back to your initial point, this idea of being in service. And this is part of like the tenets where within of us, we were sharing these principles. I don't want to go too deep into the tenets yet because we're not quite there, because we talk about announcements and cool things, but it don't even feel like announcements, do it? I love it. All right, so being of service and like service to the whole, and how like we've been taught to operate within separation, and how like people take pride in being separate. And it's like, damn, like that's the psyop. You've been tricked, you've been duped because there's nothing separate about your reality. Like you live in a body that's made of earth. You're not
Yeah.
separate from it.
Yeah.
You share DNA. You like you're on the earth. Like what the hell? And but then the benefit of being in service, like it feeds back into you. Regenerative farming, helping those and being in service to those in need around you, or even the idea of clearing your neighborhood, it helps raise everything up.
Yeah.
But
If you
again,
want your purse to be full, give.
look, you know it, but you know people are like, that sounds like a good idea.
No,
That sound in a perfect world, Elta.
when you have to pay your children to take the trash out, you have gone
Yeah,
wrong.
that's nah.
when when they have not been taught to see the benefit of being whole, of helping, the idea of helping someone who needs help, assisting an animal or a person. What I have lived long enough to have had those experiences, and what a glory the experience is, no matter what the person does. You get to help someone, there's a bump up for that. It's a huge bump up, like, I help this person understand more about the truth. I help this person not be a liar. Or I help this person across the street. Or I made sure that they felt better because they knew I thought about them. How good does that feel? You deprive yourself of these elevations when you're unwilling to do it because nobody's paying you.
I want to jump in there. What it looks like visually to me is cutting yourself off from the regenerative source, from the regenerative field, giving, and then it comes back in. What are you putting out into the field, the torus, right? And it's like, nope, nope. I only want to take. I only want to be a parasite. I only want to take. And it's like at some point we have to. What I have found is that it is so beneficial to examine the behavioral traits that we view as the enemy,
Yes.
that's problematic. Like, oh, why are they doing this in the government? Why is the world the way how it is? Why do my family treat me? What aspects are you operating this way? And what have you done to change it, to collapse it, to pivot and to reconnect with the original design, which is that give and take flow, which feels so good to be in service, and then
It feels
you
good
feel their
to,
gratitude,
yeah.
and just
It feels good whether a person gives you gratitude or not. There's a
right.
self-fulfilling aspect of it. And the idea that, yes, the systems that we live in all over this world, everywhere, all that our parents and their parents and their parents lived through, were parasitic. And we just have to decide, you are not my teacher, Mr. Parasite.
I like I like how you
You're
say
not my
that,
teacher.
Mr. Parasite, or Mrs. Because they be out there mating. Parasites be mating, yeah. Survival and procreation, feeding, first, second chakra. That's all they're stuck in.
So it is good to come to that clarity, like,
Yes.
oh, I see what you're doing. You're self-destructing, and I can see it in your physicality and your behavior and your tone of voice and the way you look at me, the way you talk to me, the lack of value that you have. You're not my teacher. I recommend you find a new teacher. That's like the reality of it is, surely humanity can do better than this.
Over the years, I remember being in class, and some of you all who might be on the line may recall seeing this. There's a young man at a workshop who was like, "We're doing the best we can." Ulta turned around. Nobody's doing the best we can. And it was from the energy of a mother, right? And the reality is, I know that everyone on the line, realistically, if you're striving for evolution, and you're operating in some level of consciousness and awareness of your day to day and hitting your goals, that you are not necessarily putting your best foot forward. And there's a lot of, I think, variables that impact that reality, but we must always continue to stretch higher. You often talk about like keep stretching, be the tree or stretch. There's a lot of different examples you give, but that came up to mind because anytime I hear you're doing the best we can, whoa, did Lota hear that? She's gonna let you know. Let one of the grandchildren say that. You're better than this. I know you can do better. You're like, damn, I can. She's right.
The when you tell yourself that, you've given yourself an out that you don't need. There's always a little bit more. There's a more kindness. There's more generosity. There's more love. You can receive more. Are you even getting the best love you can get because of the way you behave? I mean, you can flip that script.
That's
You know, am I
fascinating.
being loved at the best level because I'm so lovable? No, you're not doing the best you can do. I can see that you can be more lovable.
Yeah, that's a really good perspective because it's like you're getting what you put out. Like, how
Yes.
can I change? Because this is something that we were talking about when we were talking about the classes. We were recapping different things to make sure we put emphasis on. And I think energy hygiene was one of the classes, and you mentioned like make sure you're telling them that it's all about them.
Yeah.
Like it's them. It's not the thing out there. It's them. You know, and it's so important that we get that because I know what reality look like. And I know what it feels like. It feels like it's coming from the outside. It feels like, oh, they don't love me or they're not doing. But like, what are we broadcasting? No, and it's almost like forgetting that, like, the core understandings that life reflects you. Sometimes it goes out the window.
It's so much more than that, and
I know it, but and we haven't even really gotten to the tenets.
but it's
We've kind of
okay
been
because
touching
this
on
is
them
still
though.
good. But there's so much more. So much of what we feel about what we're getting has to do with what our ancestors felt because we actually live within their biology. So just like when a person gets a heart transplant and the recipient starts wanting spaghetti because the other person was Italian, it's the same thing. We are inside of our ancestry, and our ancestry felt certain ways about certain things. They felt a certain way about alcohol and drugs. They felt a certain way about sex. They felt a certain way about what they were willing to do and what they weren't, and whether they would be agreeable or whether they would be abused, or whether you needed to, did they need to get beat up to submit to the masculine. All of these things, and we are reflecting that at different points in our experience, but as we grow further in time, the reflection is brighter. So it's not ever about whatever's happening in front of us. It's always about how did that happen to our mothers and to our grandmothers and in their time, in their way, and it stood in front of them, and what did they do and what do we do? And did they self-sabotage themselves, or did they remove themselves, or did they make way for our generation? And are we willing to go where nobody has yet gone in the ancestry? We're going to go where nobody's gone before.
Yeah. One small step for.
Yes.
But that is so the case with all souls who
Yes.
are on the evolutionary path because the evolution literally is you are doing something different that nobody was doing. And there is a gravitational pull.
Yes.
Hence, pull that ancestors working out if you got to. Do what you need. But again, I think, again, going back to your point, it's about dealing with self. Yeah, the field is showing me this, but let me allow myself to be corrected. Let me correct what I am broadcasting. And because sometimes we're not able to quantify that this came directly from the lineage or societal programming, but you experiencing it. So, that's, I think, the almost like the mic drop where
Yeah.
like it's your experience.
So much of the teachings that we have been doing for so many years has the flavor of an initiate program, which it is, but I encourage everyone to look at what does that word mean. I initiate. Initiate means I will start from this moment forward to be different and to move evolution forward. I will grow. I will initiate. So that is the flavor of working with On the Sun, that whether it's DNA or property clearing or hygiene or any of the spiritual tenets that support you and make you move forward, this is a place where you can have the power to break through the grass to the earth and initiate the new growth. Be that, blade of grass that breaks through the cement, because that's what it feels like. And it is that much of a reality that to be an initiate, you break through the levels of abuse and the levels of interference from all different means to be the free, sovereign blade of grass that can then be under the sun, tethered to the earth and grow freely.
Certainly.
Feels good, doesn't
It
it?
does. It
Yeah.
does.
Blade of grass.
But
Just a little blade of grass.
yeah, powerful. It's a powerful symbol, and it's makes me think about understanding who and what we are. We are that blade of grass. We are nature. That potentiality exists within us.
Yeah, that blade of grass is sovereign. It's
Yeah.
sovereign. It doesn't have the thousands of other, tens of thousands of other blades of grass,
Man,
but
that's so
it's
real.
okay.
It's like, I can do this. Oh, there's a crack. There's light. I'm going to the light. I'm going to the light. It's so real in the
And
field.
the cement breaks. The cement, which you would think would hold it down, can't stand against the sovereignty of the one blade of grass. That's us.
Be pissing off people who done did their driveway. A lot of grass coming through the crack. Because you can't stop nature, and you're nature.
Yeah.
So I'm going to swiftly roll through some of the other classes throughout the year, and then we're going to jump into some of these tenets. And I also want to give a shout out to everybody who's with us. We see you all in the comments. Some of you all are touching base and sharing your inlet caches, and also some commentary that's associated with some of the remarks we made earlier. So we'll get back to you guys. But also in the next month of, well, we're in September, so property clearing level 2. DNA activation is going to make its way back around because, again, people require it. And then soul translation will be making its way back, specifically best places for your biology. So you're going to be
Yay.
working with people, helping them identify. I mean, it's more than just what's the best place for your biology, but it's like a navigational tool in terms of navigating, like, for example, locales, regions within the U.S. Is this a safe place for my body? There's a lot of uncertainty for people within the future trajectories that are unfolding. And again, through calibration, we'll be checking some of this, assisting them, but then also teaching them how to do this in a more nuanced way. This is your class that you're bringing forth. You got
Yes.
some thoughts on this?
This is going to be very exciting. I get so many questions about, well, shall I move this place? Shall I move that place? I see the need to move. In this class, it is less about us identifying what we think you should do. It's more about what does your body say it will best function as? Does your body best function in the mountains and the forest? Does your body best function at the seashore? Is this the right time for your body to have that experience, or do you need to have that experience later because of the earth changes and the things that are taking place? So this class, we really recommend everybody take it, because there have been changes. What we saw 10 years ago as the future now has shifted more in favor of humanity.
I got some thoughts on that.
Yes.
So soul translation has been around for years, and there have been waves, and there's variances and nuances of soul translation, like literally healing with the biology and addressing the organs and other symptoms and illnesses. But I remember I was thinking about this yesterday as we were curating the list of the classes, and I'm gonna give a shout out. Delilah Burrows, Dr. Delilah, put some respect on it. She's a property clearer. She's a doctor. She works with bioenergetics. She got all the devices, all the energetic, spiritual devices.
Integrative.
Yeah, to help the layman move into this reality, right? So integrative medicine. But she was in the class and she calibrated and assisted with where does your body want to be? And one of the nuances was like, I think we looked at within years. And so the most recent was, and this was like probably like 7, 8 years ago. This was a while ago. And I think within that time frame, the best location for me was cities, which was interesting. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll be in a city. But then she said like, okay, a couple of years out, and I don't remember how many. I think it was like 7 or 5 or something like that. Forests. And I'm like, I was like, damn. All right, Delilah. Well, Atlanta is a forest. It's a city in the forest, and we're like on the outskirts of Atlanta, but the home is surrounded by nature and massive trees, and so I am in that. So it's just a call back to the accuracy and looking back to the information. And I'm actually curious to see, all right, where does my body want to be now? Is it
Yes.
still forest? Is it,
So
on the prairie?
we will give every student that information and teach them how to do it for themselves and their loved ones and others. But I would like to point out that Dr. Delilah took the class, as many people have who learned these practices, and their soul translation is not complicated once you have calibration. Once you have calibration, it's just expansion. It just gives you more things to be expanded on. Like,
Yeah.
you can know what your biology wants to do. Like, my body really wants to be in so and so and so place. And you can affirm that. And then you can say, Mom, your body would like to be living away from me.
Yeah, see, I know that's hilarious, but I'm gonna just speak to the
Or
point
maybe
of
your
you
body.
can do this for other people's bodies.
Yeah.
That's the benefit.
So the class is right now. I'm excited about teaching this class again because you will all be calibrators of this level of information from the point of view of clarity, not from the point of view of I just don't know what to do or where to go. The inside of soul translation is the consideration of what's happening on the earth plane. So once you have the insignia, you are part of the class, you have the calibration, you have the answers to almost everything because the method will give you the answers.
Yes.
Every class gives you method that then opens doors for many other things as well.
That's right. Open the floodgates.
Yes.
So also in October, you're bringing back Luminous Life Method. So
Yes.
that's a continuation. And then we have an Akashic Records level 2. This is the communicators class. Yeah, we're doing that, and we're excited. And so many people are familiar with channeling, letting something inside of their
Yeah, we don't
body
do
and
that.
possess them. And it's like there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way. Why can't we just talk,
Why would you let
communicate?
somebody just come into your body?
Well, I think that humans have a disposition of releasing their authority to other things outside of them.
What we
It
are
doesn't.
teaching is how to receive a transmission from somebody who wants to talk to you.
Yeah, and
That's
that
what
can
we
be
teach,
yeah,
which
and
is
that can be many
different.
different beings. So again, this is different than uh, channeling. It's communicating by way of frequency and understanding that you can communicate with the consciousness of many different life forms. I have been a communicator for Of the Sun. I don't even know how many years. And matter of fact, there has been like waves of moving. Just to be transparent, waves of stepping confidently, like collapsing fear and doubt of, is that me? Am I hearing what I'm hearing? Then it progresses to, oh, you could speak to the storms, you could speak to the insects, you can speak to other dimensional beings. You can bring, and it has been a privilege and an honor to bring forth communications from various different allies who has assisted Of the Sun throughout the years. So we don't work alone here. We don't need no disclosure either. We've been there, done that. But the point is that we all have an innate capacity to communicate. You're already doing it. And what I have noticed is that it's really more of tuning in. Everything's speaking, everything's listening. And the Akashic Records is an expansion on that. So I know this is going to be exciting for those who have taken the level 1 Akashic Records class of just moving into the field. But again, we're expanding into, all right, now we're going to bring forth like full-fledged communications, going into the nuance of like how to attune, like get into the pocket of the vibrational field of that consciousness, so you know what you're hearing, and also working within the framework because everybody works a little differently, but we'll also have a foundational baseline. And so, you got any thoughts on this, Loza?
It's everything works together because we have calibration. We can calibrate how accurate you are. We're not guessing. We can calibrate. We can ask about accuracy. Is this 50% accurate of what the information was coming through? Is this 90% accurate? We could calibrate to the third decimal point. So you are being taught at a level of precision that is different than what other people say things that are vaguely true and it's considered truth.
Yeah.
But if it's vaguely true, it'll show up as 35% and we will encourage you to do it again. So this is an opportunity to sharpen yourself amongst those who are already authorities in this area. We have been doing this for a long time. We do not do channeling. We are not encouraging anything to come into our bodies. In fact, we are clearing ourselves in great depth to make sure nothing comes in.
Look, I'll be damned if an entity come up in my house unwelcome. I'm not gonna let them come up in my body. Like, let's just talk. Like, what's up with it feels archaic. It feels like we did what we could based off of what we understand, and what Other Sun is doing is sharing with you there's a better way. There's a sovereign way, in respect to your being, your person.
Well, so I'm noticing that more and more people hear, which is really the prerequisite. Not everyone does, because there's a lot of interference in our world, but there were always times when people heard and they were considered the priest class. Well, we are in a time where we all need to be the priest class. We all need to be able to hear what's going on. We all need to be able to know from the tree in our backyard, hey, do I need to be getting out of here this weekend? It's like, yeah, go ahead, get in the car and go, or, oh, no, you're good. We got you. All the trees got you.
This is bringing to mind one of the tenets. And so it's funny because we haven't gotten directly to it, but we've been speaking so indirectly. And that's a beautiful thing, because it shows how the tenets are embedded within everything we do.
Yes.
And I began to think about one of the tenets. It speaks about leadership. I'm just giving broad brushstrokes, but the concept of individuals stepping into leadership, and it has everything to do with reclaiming back the authority that we've given out to everyone outside of us who's got a title in front of their name or letters behind their name. And so the leadership looks like this, where you can get your own information. You are able to communicate, if you so choose to, with family members who have transitioned or different allies who you work with. You work with Other Sun, you're calling on allies. You can have a conversation with these beings, and then calibrate your level of accuracy. So we're going to be teaching all these different things. But the point is, like, it's so nestled into the tenets, because I see a future where we are living in the world where like movements such as of the sun and others that may be happening on the planet, because it's not just here at the sun, what we do impacts the field, right? Where the movement is nestled within each individual soul. It's not just, oh, it's all in the leader, and then when the leader gone, and then the movement just stopped. No, it's embedded, because that's part of the issue. It's like within movements that we've seen in different organized structures, all the weight is placed on one individual to do the thing for them. And this is one of the things that I love about Other Sun, because it makes it so different, because this is the timeline split. This is the different direction where, again, we tap into our divinity. We see that we can know a thing. We see that we have the capacity to communicate. And oh, what's that flower? What you want me, right? So it's just beautiful to see how the tenets are all embedded.
It reminds me of the idea of parents who are jealous of their children. Like, the ones who are here, who have learned things, are required to teach the children, not try to stop the children from eclipsing them.
Yeah, Shauna, it's like,
that's
supposed
not
to be passing the baton.
Yeah, that's not the appropriate. So that's what our world has gotten into, to some degree, that people are gatekeeping knowledge. People who study different sciences and different schools of thought and different philosophies from different places have often, they don't give you, you don't get the version from the country. You get the American version.
Yeah, you get that watered down, Americanized, fast food.
Yeah, you get that version. And I've had Qigong masters come to me for clearing, and I've seen what their masters have done to them.
Jack them up. Well, we're not gonna go to it.
But I'm familiar with the fact that he had enough juice to find us.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I found you all. Now can you undo? I'm like, you have to stop giving the authority to the ones who you gave authority to, because that gives them sway over you. And now it ultimately always comes back to you. You have the power. We will point, we will always point you to you, because that is the reality, is that the freedom and the truth is within you. And when you let go of whatever belief system you have that someone from another country who's the master, that he had so much authority that you now don't have unless he gives you permission to have it, you've imprisoned yourself.
I want to speak on a conversation we had a few days ago. You were speaking specifically to this, but from the context of the 3D, where people are like, this wouldn't ever happen if Trump or if the Democrats or if da 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 da, this all this pointing the finger, and humans, we will forever remain within this state of suffering and struggle until we look at self, until we take back the power and see self within it. And it's like everything around us is in, like life itself is informing us. Look at you, take back the power, take back the authority,
Yes.
or suffer.
Yeah, it's so interesting that we live in a world where people are marching. They don't want kings, but the person who is behaving as a king is there because we wanted someone to be the king. We wanted someone to drain the swamp. We wanted someone to fix it. We wanted someone who was going to be bodacious and who would cuss people out and who would, not be the usual politician. And now we're marching in the street saying we don't want that.
Yeah. You sure? Because you get what you are, not what you want.
What we don't realize is that we have the authority to bestow authority upon others, and in our willingness or our want for someone else to clean up the house. We want someone else to take out the
Mom,
garbage.
I don't want to do it.
We want somebody else to do it. And that when we do that, someone presents themselves with all of the other things that come along with that.
All of the authorship.
So,
and it's unsavory.
It's never an issue of the person being stronger than the population. It's the population wanting the person to be that for them. I want you to be the gun. I want you to be the gun that shoots everybody. So, okay. I'll be the guy that shoots everybody.
Yeah.
I want you to be the one who fixes the wall. I want you to be the one who makes sure they're doing things different. I want you to be the one who likes money like I do. So the reality is no one's doing anything to us. We have all adopted. That is what we look like.
Yeah, it's just symptomatic of what's inside.
We're greedy, dishonest, untruthful, all the things that we think a king is, and then we want to rail against that. So it's a misunderstanding.
What are your thoughts for people who may say, that ain't me? Like, that's not what I want in there, and because heck, I could hold that same opinion too. Well, I'm not, like, because I know the greater truth. But what's your thoughts? Because sometimes it feels like that, like where there's a separation of like, I didn't vote for Trump, or I don't even like politics, but like we're still experiencing it.
Yeah, so you not liking politics and not voting is your disconnection from the outcome. I mean, it's very clear. Like, you didn't imprint the field with what you did want, so you get whatever's left over. Like, we'll do what's right, and you can do what's left. So you get what's left because you didn't imprint the field. You didn't say, I choose sovereignty. That has power. It even sounds powerful. Instead, you said, just leave me alone.
Yeah, like a disassociation versus like action in a different direction. Those are two different things.
Yes.
Two different things, two different vibes, two different responses to the field.
It's the same in relationships. It's the same in marriage. It's the same with parents and adults. It's like, this is what I want. If you don't choose what you want, you get whatever they have chosen and what's left over. We are in the moment of what's left over.
Oh, it is looking like leftovers. It's looking like leftovers 3-4 weeks after Thanksgiving. Turkey been picked over. I don't eat that stuff, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, so much of it has to do with the obsession with money, which is about not to even exist. So it is much better to have gratitude as your currency. Let somebody be grateful to you. That will convert into the currency that you needed to across all mediums in a different country, in another place with different people. That gratitude will be surrounding you and it will protect you. If you just give me something, if you don't give me anything, I don't have time for you. I don't want, I don't want to talk to you if you're not going to pay me.
Damn, sound like the same people who raped and pillaged the earth. Just give me, take, 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 take. I don't want to give anything
That's
back.
the morphic field of the ones that we have come from, and that is why we, in particular, of the Sun, in the call for the truth, as property clearers, this is part of what we are here to rectify through the tenets and how we live and what is important and why we need to share this today.
All right, so I got one more announcement, and then we're going to jump into these tenets officially. We really appreciate you all sticking with us. We see you all holding it strong in the live. Also going to go through some of those comments because some of them did have relevancy to what we're discussing. But in the month of November, and this is the last month that we have mapped out, December will be TBA. And we have another level 1 quantum light property clearing class. So this is again giving another opportunity for anyone who wants to jump back in to take this course. And then we're going to have Energy Hygiene 102 class. So this will be a follow-up to the Energy Hygiene 101, which is foundational for cultivating an energy hygiene lifestyle to sustain your vibratory field, your elevation, stay in your happy place, as I say. And this is really going into the details, the intricacies of the application. Because when you take the level 1, you're just gaining your bearings of understanding, okay, these are things that I can do, but it must become an embodiment. Like everything, even these tenets that we're about to go into, it's a lifestyle. It's a discipline. This isn't just okay, it's a fad, I did it for a little bit. No, when you start understanding who and what you are, and that you have the capacity to shift who you are and influence how you move about this world, you're like, okay, what else can I do? Or how can I implement this in this scenario or that scenario, again, in everyday life? That's what we're diving into the 102, along with some other advanced techniques to build on the foundation you had in the 101 course. So that's essentially our announcements at this time.
Yes.
It's robust, but it's fluid, conversational, and we trust that you all have found some value from this, and we're going to make sure that this is up on the website. We'll also notify you again for those who are tuning in. And again, if you're new, click the bell notification so you can say subscribe to what we got going on with the free live streams, the meditations, etc., etc. And so with that being said, you ready to dive into these tenets, Lota?
Yes, I'd like to go through them all first, given
Yeah.
the time, and then just take one for today.
All right, so what I'm going to do for you all is I'm going to screen share a document. We got some other documents that are in the works where we're going to have this listed up on the website. Beautiful graphics, but right now it's a standard outline of these tenets. So I'll share this on the screen. I'll read this verbatim. And these, again, are very core to of the Sun. So our first tenet is upholding energy hygiene as a lifestyle, maintaining personal energy hygiene practices daily, clear your spaces regularly, and avoid entanglement with distortion. The next one is be a steward of truth. Speak and live from truth. Do not bypass, mislead, or distort. Align with the divine will. The next tenet is honor sovereignty, yours and others. It further states respect free will, avoid projection or control, and honor energetic boundaries. Our next tenet is operate with integrity. Show up fully. Keep your word. Walk your talk. Be the clearing. That's right. Be the clearing. Embody what you teach. Be a living field of coherence. Our next tenet is commit to lifelong elevation. How long we got to keep doing this, Lot? Lifelong. Clean and don't stop, baby. Continue learning and clearing. Expand without ego or stagnation. So I can see the balance in that. And then our final tenet here is protect the field. Avoid gossip, drama, and distortion. Clear interference actively and consistently. And so we're going to jump back to the top with our main tenet, which is upholding energy hygiene as a lifestyle. And this is really the foundation of the Sun Tenets, where this is, like I mentioned earlier, it's not treated as an occasional activity. Oh, that was cute. I did a little energy hygiene back in the day. I know what that's about.
Yes.
No, this is a disciplined
Uh,
lifestyle. So, would you take us into this tenet?
the idea of upholding a certain level of vitality and light within your experience is absolutely necessary. And I'll just point to, there's so many things that I could point to. There's food, there's clothing, there's shelter, but I'll speak to language. One of the ways that would be really good is our language has been changed on purpose. We have been miseducated. There used to be a time where we would understand what a word was because we were taught where the words derived from, whether they were from Latin or
Yeah,
whatever there was, German or
the
whatever the
etymology.
influence was. But many of those words have been removed from our lexicon. And then when we do hear a word, we don't know how it's used. And then we have the audacity to make up words on the spot and insert them into the lexicon. And often they are at the level of what we would consider curse words. Like it's so we're so nonchalant about it. It's so indescript. It's so lacking in detail. It's so fuzzy, that there's a lot of language, like where the word is not even said all the way out, where it's not enunciated, that all the letters are not given the necessary sound that then is the frequency. So the words are frequency, and I'd like to speak to the words that are often in our music and very much in our lexicon are words that are sloppy. They're not accurate, they're not precise, and they don't actually deliver a precise, coherent idea. They're like what we would imagine prisoners get in their food line.
Slop.
Yeah, that's what most of our language is like, with just a repeat of, and I love you, baby, in between. That's that. And stay calm. It's okay. I love you, baby. Especially with the music, we hear that kind of thing. So I would say energy hygiene could begin right this moment with you deciding you're going to remove some of the curse words, or think about what you say before you say it, or enunciate so that the entire frequency is delivered, so that you're not saying, the word has 5 letters and you said 2. And so then that frequency doesn't get delivered appropriately. So the way we think about everything, this kind of sloppy equation, this kind of, let's put this thick food that is unrecognizable onto your plate that we don't know where it came from and what it derived from.
I want to speak on that specifically, idea. I think that's a beautiful analogy to speak to coherence through speech. When we
Yes.
think about Dr. Emoto, words, the structure, the geometric structure at the molecular level, coherent, beautiful, structured, right? Divine. And then incoherent, like the different types of distorted music specifically that was played to it, it looked like frequency slop,
Yeah.
like slop at the molecular level. And so this is a interesting point of view. I didn't know you were going to come from this vantage point, but it makes so much sense, especially when we think about who and what we are. We often speak about that we are transmitters, receivers. We broadcast, transduce frequency, and like, what are we broadcasting into the field? What are we accepting? And sometimes I think about, what I've allowed myself to listen to. I was thinking about a couple of weeks ago. I used to listen to some Japanese rock back in the day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was so dark. Like the language, like it sounded cool, but it was dark. I was like, I never knew they were saying these things. No wonder my life was like impartial, jacked up. And I went through the other songs and music that I listened to that was informing my field, and informing my speech, informing the field in general, and what I drew to me. And it wasn't until, again, addressing, let me be mindful of what I'm allowing to enter into my field, my vessel, what's influencing my geometry. So I think that's an excellent analogy, and segue into this energy hygiene as a tenet.
Yes. If all of the music that you listen to has somebody so sad they're about to slit their wrists, or that they can't live without another person, they need to give their authority to another, that they can't exist unless they're less than somebody else, and somebody else gives them authority to exist. If that's what you're listening to, that is an inappropriate way to be hygienic and clean in your thought process. If all of your thoughts are about someone else instead of making yourself correct, if your music doesn't say, go in the sunlight, be strong, ground on the earth.
Like affirmative
Yeah, yes.
embodiment. That's
Not,
wild, Lao Tzu.
or if your songs all say, he needs to do this for me, and he owes me this, and she owes me that, and my father didn't give me, that's not hygiene.
Yo, it's wild. I'm hearing you say that gives a whole new layer of understanding to music. That's pretty much all the music out there.
It is, so you may have to start listening to music with no words.
Join the party.
You may have to start making up your own songs. You may have to recreate the world from the lyric out. You may have to be the lyric in your life because we're informed by that. And it's playing in the background. So you say something to someone and they're like, look, I can't talk to you. And you're like, what? What did I do? It's like, you just are, 5 generations of abuse that you don't even know.
You even realize you just kerplunk. You just put that prison slop in front of me. I'm not wearing an orange jumpsuit. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you serving this up? If that's a reality.
And so that's energy hygiene. The first order of business is always look at you, call for correction, go to sleep at night, ask to be corrected. Let what falls away from you fall away, and then imprint you into it. Because so much of what's going on with us is unconscious. This happens all the time. I say to people, oh, what happened? You hurt your head? Yeah, I bumped into the cabinet. I'm like, who was in the kitchen with the cabinet with you? Just me and the cabinet. So that was you. You can't blame the cabinet hit me. No, your subconscious mind knew where the cabinet was, but you took your head and rammed it in.
Bang the hell out of that head on the cabinet. Nobody to be angry at.
This is all about whatever you were thinking that you were not in harmony with. You punished yourself immediately,
Yeah.
which happens all the time. We don't always see a knot on our head, but you're driving, something happens, you go somewhere, you're out somewhere, somebody treats you rude. What were you thinking? It's your field. It's your universe. This is your world, squirrel. It's yours.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, my bad. That was my unconscious. My unconscious did that to me. I'm sorry. Or to you. My bad. My unconscious. I got a funny little comment here. I'm Elijah Wood says, "Not my music, low." Right on, Elijah. I got some commentary on that, but
Yes.
A larger idea. So.
I think that's enough.
Yeah. So I'm most certainly in the field of like there is music out there with words that are inspiring, encouraging. Like you got a whole soundtrack to your life that you should be bumping around the house, and a couple of other listeners do as well. But I do find that sometimes be in the stillness and be the broadcaster. And you know me, I've been a music connoisseur for most of my life. I would download entire discographies, piracy, R-matey, Anywho, my point is that in the last few years, especially within the last year, my guidance has prompted me, you broadcast.
Yeah.
Even if the music is good, just you focus on broadcasting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are you consuming?
Yeah.
Or are you spending more time consuming than you are creating, or receiving from an outside source than broadcasting what you want to influence the field with?
Yes, because you're on repeat. You listen to it, then you can't get it out of your head. You're repeating it. You're on repeat. You're the relay station.
Yeah.
Contaminating the rest of the world. So this is a good place to start.
Well, you got any other thoughts on energy hygiene? I mean, we usually go up to about 1:30. It's just a couple of minutes out. Or you want to go to a couple of comments?
Yeah, I'd like to see what the comments are, because
All right,
I think we are ways away from some of them.
I'm gonna run that comment back. I'm Elijah Wood said, not my music. I feel you. That's right. We got Karen Briggs in the house in the Catch Veritas says, so looking forward to a powerful work with y'all in so many aspects of service as we are already about. Yes,
Yes.
most certainly. So a link in the description. There should be a link for signing up for a discovery call, especially for
Yeah.
anybody who's new to Of the Sun and you want to know more about what's available or where you are within your journey, because I think that's important too, because not everything is for everyone, but we do have a lot of different opportunities for expansion.
And we really wanted you to know who we are so that you don't have a misunderstanding.
That's right. Don't be guessing. Don't be assuming. Don't be
Yeah, we're not about Halloween here. That's not what this is.
right cosplaying.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got Shaka Warrior. I'm working my way backwards from the most recent to the later. Shaka Warrior says, it's easy to speak about love, compassion, faith, integrity, forgiveness, or service, but what we truly stand for is revealed in our actions, especially when life becomes challenging. There's a continued statement saying, our character is reflected in how we treat others, how we handle adversity, and how we use our gifts, and whether our choices align with our values when no one is watching.
I know, that's
Woo!
that. I'm dancing when nobody can see me. That's like, the room is always full.
That
You are
part.
always seen. Your greatness, your kindness, your generosity of spirit is always seen. And the absence of it is noted.
You know, it's so wild. I'm thinking about how we could have a whole conversation on that. You used to say back in the day, everywhere is wearing cellophane. And it was because people would be pissed off because you could just see through the BS. You could see through the belief system. And others are taught, but the funny thing is that everyone can see, more or less.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
but will they acknowledge what they're seeing?
Or
Will they
will they
call it out?
deny it?
Or yeah, or like, maybe that's not what I saw
Yeah,
or heard,
because I
right?
got money this week coming from them, so maybe I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I ain't trying to bump up against my money. You know, comfort over truth. I'll take this comfort over truth. So the point is, you would say everyone's wearing cellophane, and you were really kind of slow walking us into, even though it didn't feel slow, it felt like a throwing in the pool. You know, like that uncle or auntie just throw you in the pool, like, all right, swim. The reality that it don't matter what you think.
Yeah.
Everything can be seen, even when we're not trying.
Yes.
If you, sometimes people are operating at levels where like, you can see everything without trying to see it through speech, through body language, mannerisms, feeling the frequency.
Enunciation of the letters. I mean, the whole,
Yeah.
it's really frequency. If you are, it's really not about anything else. I love what she said, though. It is in the act of your life, which is what energy hygiene teaches. And properly, you become that or you do not. If you understand what it is and it adheres to you, you become that hero in that story, or you take the classes and you don't. And that's okay. And it may be that that's your path, but that's what she's saying, is that it's in the act of the doing. So if I can espouse it, as many do, and don't live it, then I am not it, period. Because the frequency is all around us. It's in the luminosity around me, around you, around all of us, has the truth in it.
Yeah.
The truth is, who I am is not hidden. It's in the light. If I walk into a room, if a property clearer walks into a room, the light illuminates the room. That's the truth of it. The rest of it is details.
As I'm listening to this, it seems like it is a choice to either participate in that reality or pretend that it doesn't exist. Because it's ever yeah, and there can also be because I think we all are in varying levels of it, but then I would like to think that the people tuning in to this podcast are in those varying levels, and not necessarily like, nah, you can't see what I'm doing. Nobody can see. I could keep my thoughts and I can think negative or whatever it is, even positive. Like nothing can be seen inside of here. But you just said it's the nature of reality itself is we exist within fields that are non-local,
Yeah.
and like Everything could be sing. It's like you either la 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 la, but it's still there. It's
I
still
talked
there.
to a client from Monaco who just arrived in Monaco for the races. I talked to a client who just arrived in Monaco. I was there. I was right
Yeah.
there. I was right there. And the light or darkness or variations of was very apparent to me. So this is available to all humans. This is our birthright. This is our blueprint. We're just helping reveal it. You know, our mission is to bring humanity back to the original blueprint to be able to do this and way more than this. So it requires some discipline. It requires some uh, repeating of the practices. It requires wanting to be clean enough to identify what is the cleanest signal so that you can get the signal from the crown chakra so that you can follow the signal through life appropriately.
That's so deep. I hope that you all are picking up what she's putting down because that understanding for me has greatly helped with understanding what's happening in terms of the energetic processes and the reality that I'm experiencing. I'm sharing with all of you, which there is a signal in like Bluetooth disconnected sometimes, right? We not picking up the signal and
Yeah.
the information to bank left, bank right, do this, don't do that. And the energy hygiene of itself helps us tune into the signal. It gets less staticky. It's just like a radio station. You start getting to the right, literally frequency. It's us. You
And
know.
it's everything, and the sun is getting you that way, whether you're taking calibration, whether you're doing energy hygiene, whether you're clearing a property and being of service, whether you're being of service to yourself, whether you're speaking the truth. All of the tenets of who we are and what we do, all of this is guiding you into that direction because it's all about you. It's all about what has been robbed from us, what has been usurped, what has been absconded with, that is the divinity of who we are. And that is our mission and our purpose. And those who would like to join on to it, fine. Those who will not like to join on to it right now, it's okay. You're eternal. You got forever. But we're going to go ahead and move on.
We got a comment from Karen Biggs. She say, "Divine alignment is life." Sounds like Karen Briggs is on board. We got some more comments here. Steph of the Sun says, "Your generosity is always seen, and the absence of it is noted."
Yes.
Laut of the Sun. She's dropping quotes. Dropping quotes. We got.
I was going to say, well,
we
that's
got,
good.
it is. You like, who said that? Who said that? You said that. That was you. Stacy OTS says, "There's always more to grow, more to gain, more to evolve." That sounds like a call for the truth divination quote right there. We have Gina. She says, "I have been encouraged to walk around my neighborhood and talk to and give in Lakesh to the flowers, trees, and animals. It's been delightful." I saw that comment earlier. I actually wanted to speak on it because uh, when she shared that was when we were talking about quantum light property clearing and the necessity to do more. And many people often on this path have this feeling of, how can I serve? Like, what can I do? Not everybody is selfish, and like, no, there are some people who see the need and feel it in them, but don't quite know what to do or what's within their bandwidth to, in terms of effectiveness, to engage. And when I saw that comment, I was thinking that's a very effective way because life responds
Oh,
when you send that in Lakesh. And I know Gina be feeling. She said it's been delightful. That is a very brief, succinct, but there's so much nestled in that.
oh, I could talk about this for a long time. I'll try not to. But so Inlakesh is releasing. When we give Inlakesh, it means that I see the divinity in you. That releases the suffering of not having been seen. That releases it from the squirrel. It releases it from the rat. It releases it from the earth. It releases it from the grass. All the things that are tortured in the environment of the earth plane. It is a healing. You give Inlakesh, I see you, and then you see as truth, Inlakesh and Veritas. You have given the healing that is needed for those who have been overlooked and have not been given the shine that they should get. We don't give the flowers, trees, and grass, the earth itself, the shine. So it just so happens, I was talking to Mother Earth the other day.
What she said? What Mother Earth say? Because I like hearing about what she got to say. Ever since I tuned into the signal.
So Mother Earth said, because you of the sun, because we have been doing this for a long time, maybe a decade, giving in Lakesh, because you have given in Lakesh to me, now I have the opportunity to give you direction so that I am within the law of the reciprocal.
I feel that in my
Yes, so
goosebumps.
because we like in Lakesh and Veritas, Mother Earth, and she hears it, and she's been hearing it repeatedly from all the ones who are with of the sun over the many years, and those who have come and gone who are still doing it. And so Mother Earth said, I hear you, and now I can come forward and share with you the reciprocal energy, so I am within the law of the universe of the reciprocal, so I can give back. So Mother Earth is positioning herself for us to receive back from her what has been given. How glorious is that?
It is, like I say, I felt goosebumps, and this is not my first time hearing it. You know who? All right, I'm just leave it at that. But I got some thoughts on this. For those who may be new and are wondering, what is in Lakesh? What is Veritas? Because there's many people who are like, it's the language is very unique to a sun. In Lakesh is oneness. It translates into I see myself in you, I am you, you are me. Veritas translates into truth. We are one, that's the truth, the end, right? And so the frequencies of moving into the oneness consciousness, the frequencies of returning back to truth releases suffering. We suffer when, again, you can't see what I'm doing, you can't see my thoughts, or I'm an individual. I mean, you are, but like you're part of a whole, right? You're both. Yeah. you can have the cake and ice cream, right? And eat it too. But the point is that it releases the suffering through returning back into the unification of the truth of our template. And those frequencies have power behind it. And so this reciprocal energy of giving it to the earth is like, ooh, someone's in resonance. Yes. Let me give back and like reality opens up in a whole different way. Where I was prompted by my guidance to say, share the spider story with the Lakesh. I was outside watering the plants, and I was in the garden. It was with the tomatoes, and then I noticed a big spider. It was bigger than usual, and I like spiders, and it was on me. And I'm like, spider, can I put you back over there? Because you was by the tomatoes, and we need spiders by the tomatoes. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, okay. Like the point is, like, in my mind initially, I didn't want to just walk around with the spider, and then what about over there? I need to go water those flowers. You want to go over there with the peonies? I can just nope. It's like, this becomes a thing when you acknowledge in nature. Nature don't want to just do everything. It has its own. Yeah, like
it's not like that.
It's wild. So then, like, what do you want? And then it goes, I'm just gonna hang with you. I'm like, okay. And it was in that moment I needed to move into acceptance. And then I'm watering the flowers. I'm going about my rounds, and then I got back to where I was done. The spider's still on me, and then I just look at it, and I just move back into. And then I hear my guys send it in Lakesh. I don't know if it was the spider, because I was sending in Lakesh to all the flowers, and then the moment I sent in Lakesh and finished the statement, the spider went up my arm, went to the tip of my finger, and then dropped down and went into the grass and left. I was like, oh damn! Oh, he just wanted that cash. The spider just wanted that cash. Because I was in Lakesh and the tomatoes and the peonies and, the marigolds and everybody. And but this is reality, though. Back to her point, Gina, I know she could feel the response.
Yes,
and like when we tune in, nature will literally react. It will respond.
Oh yeah.
To those frequencies, to the coherence of the recognition that we are not separate.
It is the
you
separation.
Are the earth, I'm the earth, and we in this together.
It is the separation that is the sickness. That is what is being healed within Lakesh. You think you're separate from the flowers. That requires a healing.
Yeah.
You think you're separate from the earth.
Ooh, damn. Got a sickness, my brother. Your sickness, your diagnosis. This one has a case of separation. Seems
Yes.
severe.
That's
Serious case.
so when we recognize the aspects of creation that are also aspects that we are of creation, it heals us. It would be the same if your husband recognized that you were the same aspect of creation that he was, or your mother, or whoever you're in contention with.
Yeah.
That is the solution, that is the correction, but that requires correction in our thinking.
I'm putting that in my pocket. I just had a thought. I was like, all right, I'm going to apply that to this area. And that's the thing, you know, it's like life will really challenge us with this whole oneness thing. How much are you about this oneness?
Yes.
Can you be in oneness and see the truth of yourself in the person who's getting under your skin?
This is the daily hygiene. Are you able to look at the flowers? Are you able to look at the spider and know that's you? Or do you need to go to sleep with some correction for a while so you can get there?
Yeah, it'd be like that. we in our lessons. There's a couple more comments. We're going to wrap this up very soon. Karen Briggs said, this is Care Builder, whose life is being in and on sole purpose.
Yes.
I'm so thankful our paths have crossed, and we're familiar with you, Care Builder. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you in the comments, and it's good to have you back here. We got, who else is that? Essential Tribe says, thank you, level 2. So we got some excitement. And then everyone else is pretty much just sending Invocation Veritas, and we thank you all for the Invocation Veritas. Shaka Warrior, we'll wrap up with this last one. It says, look at you two gleaming sun souls. The color coordination is coordinating. Fashion, fabulosity, unique. I'm like, whoa, she over here. Unique words. I'm going to have to look that one up. But I got a comment to this. This was not consciously planned.
No.
And I'm sure you see this often. And every time, it's never planned, never consciously.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn. That's cool. I take it as that's what coherency and harmony look like. That's what, you know, and we resonate, we work together, we're, you know, building things together, divine masculine, divine feminine, working together within the company. I mean, doing a podcast, I can't, it kind of just fries that comes with the burger.
People in the audience will have on, they'll be like, oh, I'm wearing
right? Like I'm coordinating with the with Lowe's and Tavares.
Yeah, you might be sitting in your living room or in your car wearing like something that matches.
Well, this is a reality, and I want to share from one facet where those who are pacing in light body movement, sometimes when they hear information, be like, oh, my guidance told me that earlier in the week, or I received. That's because we won, baby. That's because we're a collective. When you really in coherence with the field, everything's available, even fashionable attire.
There is only one mind. It's not a bad thing.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up because we've been here. This is probably the longest we've done the live stream for, and people have been sticking out. We've been holding it strong, 18, 20, 22 people live. So we are so grateful for you all to be with us. And again, as a recap, DNA activation this month, DNA healing audit for those who'd like to make the return back, device clearing for those who are quantum light property clearings, 2-day class, auxiliary, and we're going to just make our lives better by expanding our understanding of energy hygiene. So any final thoughts before we conclude, Lalta?
I'd like to thank everyone and give everyone the benefit of Inlakesh, oneness, and Veritas truth. It is a healing taking place with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.